Today I will be using AI to write me 2 horror stories. The AI software that I will be using to assist me in making these stories is ChatGPT. For those of you who don't know what ChatGPT is, it is an AI developed by a company that is backed by Microsoft called OpenAI. It's an absolutely amazing tool to use. It can do many things such as write code, write papers, give feedback, and much more. As a college student that does coding, I will say this tool is very valuable when it comes to understanding and getting help when stuck. Now, going back to today's topic, I will give ChatGPT a variety of parameters such as a hunter or a cop, mystery, give it details as to what I want it to be, such as if there's a monster involved or actual people involved, and the amount of words that I want. So I can say up to 1,000 words or even 1,500 or even more than that. I'll be rating each of the stories on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's get right into this. Once upon a time, there was a hunter named Jack, who lived deep in the heart of the forest. He was an experienced hunter known for his ability to track down even the most elusive of creatures. One day, while out on a hunt, Jack came across a mysterious creature, unlike anything he had ever seen before. It was a large, furry beast with piercing green eyes and razor-sharp claws. Jack was both fascinated and terrified by the creature, and he watched in awe as it gracefully bounded away through the trees. Determined to capture this magnificent beast, Jack set out after it, tracking its movement through the dense underbrush. For hours he chased the creature, finally cornering it in a small clearing. As he raised his bow to take the shot, the creature suddenly turned and let out a deafening roar. Jack froze, realizing too late that he had underestimated the power and ferocity of this mysterious creature. The creature lunged towards Jack, who had barely had enough time to dodge out of the way. He sprinted through the forest, dodging trees and dodging branches as he tried to put some distance between himself and the creature. Behind him, he could hear the creature crashing through the forest, its roars echoing through the trees. Jack's heart was pounding in his chest as he finally stumbled into a small clearing. He turned to face the creature, his bow at the ready, but to his surprise, the creature had stopped at the edge of the clearing and was simply watching him with its piercing green eyes. Jack and the creature stood in silence for several minutes, each sizing up the other. Suddenly, without warning, the creature turned and disappeared into the forest. Jack was left standing in the clearing, completely stunned. He couldn't believe what had just happened. Was the creature simply toying with him, or was there something more to this mysterious encounter? Over the next few days, Jack found himself thinking more and more about the strange creature he had encountered in the forest. He was determined to find out more about it, and so he set out once again into the heart of the forest. This time he was better prepared, with weapons and supplies to last him for days. After several days of searching, Jack finally stumbled upon the creature's lair. It was a large, dark cave filled with the sounds of growling and snarling. Jack cautiously approached the entrance, peering inside, and there in the center of the cave was a creature, surrounded by a pack of smaller, similar creatures. Jack realized with a start that this was a family of these mysterious beasts, and he was now in their territory. He had just enough time to back away from the entrance, when the pack suddenly charged out of the cave, surrounding him. In a desperate bid to escape, Jack sprinted away from the lair, the pack of creatures in hot pursuit. He ran as fast as he could, dodging trees and jumping over logs, his heart pounding in his chest. Finally, he burst out of the forest and into a small village. Panting and sweating, Jack turned to face the pack, but to his surprise, the creatures had stopped at the edge of the forest, simply watching him with their piercing green eyes. And then, as suddenly as they had appeared, they turned and disappeared back into the forest. Jack was left standing in the village, completely bewildered, yet barely escaped with his life, and he knew that he would never forget the mysterious creatures that he had encountered deep in the forest. From that day on, Jack never ventured into the forest again, content to let the mystery of creatures remain unsolved. Overall, I will say this is a good story. In my parameters list, I had asked for a story up to 1,000 words, but ChatGPT gave me a 629 word story. which is not really a bad thing, but it's just that I would have liked to see something closer to 1,000. I would have loved to see 800 words, give a little bit more detail. I think one thing that was lacking was definitely more interactions with the creatures. I mean, the only thing that was really described was the way that they looked and them chasing after him. I mean, and the roar as well. I mean, nothing really special. It was were they, were they fast? Were they, running through trees? Were they doing these different types of things? I would have loved to get a little bit more detail, but I think overall it was an okay story. I would rate this a 6 out of 10. Once upon a time, in a dense forest that surrounded a small town, lived a hunter named Jack. Jack was well known in the town for his skills as a hunter and his love for the forest. He was also known for his kindness and bravery, always helping those in need. One day the town received news that a young girl named Lily had gone missing in the forest. She had been playing with her friends when she suddenly disappeared, and no one had seen or heard from her since. The town was in a panic, and everyone was searching for her. However, the dense forest made it a difficult task, and the search was not yielding any results. The town leaders approached Jack and asked him to help in the search. Jack was a friend of the girl's family and felt a personal obligation to help find her. He immediately agreed and started searching the forest with the town's parks rangers. For the next few days, Jack and the park rangers searched every inch of the forest. They looked for any signs of the girl and followed any leads that they could find. However, the search was proving to be more difficult than they had anticipated. The dense forest was vast and the girl could be anywhere. One day, while searching, Jack noticed a strange disturbance in the forest. He noticed that some of the trees and plants in a small area had been trampled, and there were signs of a struggle. Jack immediately called the park rangers to the area, and together they started to search the area thoroughly. As they were searching, they found a small stream, and as they followed it, they came upon a small clearing. In the center of the clearing, they found the missing girl, Lily, lying unconscious. She was badly hurt and had bruises all over her body. The park rangers immediately called for a medical help, and Jack stayed with the girl until the medics arrived. The medics stabilized her and she was taken to the hospital for treatment. The news of her discovery spread quickly throughout the town, and her family was overjoyed. Animal. She had managed to escape but had been badly hurt in the process. Jack was glad that he had been able to help find Lily, and he felt a sense of satisfaction knowing that he had made a difference in someone's life. The town was grateful to Jack and the park rangers for their efforts in finding the missing girl. They held a ceremony in their honor. From that day on, Jack was known as a hero in the town, and his reputation as a hunter and a protector of the forest was solidified. He continued to work with the park rangers and helped to keep the forest and its inhabitants safe. Years went by, and Jack and Lily remained close friends. Lily went on to become a park ranger, following the footsteps of those who had helped to find her all those years ago. Jack continued to hunt in the forest, and his love for the forest only grew stronger with each passing day. In the end, Jack's bravery and determination to help others will always be remembered, and he'll always be remembered as a hero who helped to find a missing person in the dense forest. The forest will always hold a special place in his heart, and he will always be the protector of the land and its inhabitants. I would say it's an okay story. It did obviously have a happy ending, but detail-wise was not that great. I mean, it was just them searching in the dense forest. They found nothing, and in the end of it, pretty much they found some semblances of a fight or some kind of struggle. Didn't really go into too much detail. Just said it was broken twigs and just branches and stuff like that, which is appropriate in terms of a wilderness, but I would have imagined seeing some blood and fallen traces coming across maybe some fur or something along those sites. I mean, for this story, I had asked for 1,500 words, and then you guys can guess as to what I got. This is 622 words, so it was a huge disparity. I mean, the AI could have put almost 800 more words into here, and it didn't. It could have put a lot more detail, could have put a lot more thought in terms of how the person was found, could have given more details as to what attacked her, what was the storyline, but it just went into this tangent at the end of the story where it stated what had happened and what she had achieved afterwards, which is great, but not really what I was looking for. But so because of that, I would give this a 4 out of 10.